The content may be offensive. Listener discretion advised. This is about silicone breast and transgender friend who called me earlier to ask me, my opinion about sizing herself for buying on Wish, which I've never been to Wish. I don't do this sort of online transactions, but she is always shopping on there, as are many other Americans. And so she's buying silicone breasts from Wish and asking me about the size. Now, in the past, she used to, I'm actually surprised that she's asking me, because in the past, she used to construct her own body parts from latex. She would make all sorts of body parts, breasts and butts and dicks, and so I thought it was odd that she's asking me about size. Now, she also used to buy her clothing in my size, and I tried to tell her that though we are similar, like close in size, we're not the same size. And plus, you're born male and your body is different from mine. Like your hips, for instance, are much smaller than my hips. I have more hips, more width and curvature in my hips than you do. And I have the proportion of the breasts on top. So to compensate for your lack of bust, although you do have some boy tits or man boobs, it's just you were doing the boobs so heavy and so big, but you were also doing the booty as well to match. But it made it to me seem cartoonish. And this is the thing. I'm like, if you're going to do the trans thing, do it so, it doesn't become a spectacle, unless if you want it to be a spectacle, and then in which case you do your thing, But to think that it's a good idea to go around in, let's say to the city, and you want to bust out your outfit and your body parts, you're going to find yourself at risk for attack, violence, because people are out there. Not everyone is as accepting. So this is why I'm here now. There was this person who is, he was found in the washroom someplace in the US, and it was in the females, and he's trying to pass as a transgender, but it's basically they're saying he's not transgender. He's just a man who chooses to wear a hideous, big, long, blonde, extra long wig, and he puts a mask on his face. He's all covered up, but he's trying to say he's a woman. And then he has all these cameras. He even had cameras on his shoes, taking from all angles, women and girls coming and going out of the bathroom. So this is a concern of women, and I always speak on safety and women. It's interesting. Nobody ever really talks much about that. I don't know why, but it's real, and it must be at least acknowledged so we can know how to handle this. Because I didn't appreciate as a young girl being practically accosted by pedophiles in public places where there was really not much protection for me, because perhaps you were in a place that was somewhat isolated, the location not very heavily trafficked, and this is where they prey on us, right? Such places where we are alone. So they are showing the picture of this person because they caught him on camera. And I'm just saying, look at that. This guy is a mess. It's obvious that this is a man, a young, skinny guy, white guy, in a hideous wig, like a Halloween thing, But he has a mask on that makes it even more sinister, and it's odd. And he's insisting, he is a transgender. And then I guess what the people, the so-called straight community, the heterosexuals, they call them cis. They hate it. They hate being called cis. Anyway, they just don't understand why women must be forced to accept this and why this is being done to women repeatedly, and then they're hiding behind the alphabet umbrella. They're hiding under it, and they are feeling protected, and they do these crazy things knowing that they have the backup, which I think is irresponsible of the queer community. This is all I'm saying. I'm not anti-queer. I'm not anti-LGBTQIA2SS. I'm not anti, any of it. I'm not. I'm just into freedom of speech. If I see something that's not okay, it's not okay for a man to dress as a woman and suddenly declare himself to be trans woman. But doing these kinds of, I don't know, they say felonious, you were in a washroom taking pictures of little girls and women, and you're a man saying you're a woman. It's just twisted. It's too twisted. And, it's so close to Halloween, like all of this is kind of devilish, the trickster, I don't jive with that. I don't play along with those kinds of themes of confusion, confusing, chaos, and upside down inversion. It's just, no. Why do you have to do that? Why do you have to do that? If you think you are a woman or female or girl, whatever, then be. Yeah, how many women are going out there and taking pictures of other women in places and situations like that? No, it's not happening. It's not happening. However, I will say, I'm going to out myself. So, years ago, I used to go to a thing called Caravana. And then I started to realize it's not for me because it's a crowd. I don't like crowds. But look at all that booty, eh? So, booty on display. So I was given these video cameras. I thought, well, why can't I just go with my camera and shoot video pictures of booties in costume? The revelers, costumes, and the booties, because the booties are on display. Well, I would go with my camera and I would see booty after booty after booty after booty. And I would try to film them and I could never do it. I put the camera on and I would feel weird. I would feel creeped out. I would feel even disgusted with myself. Like, what is this? Why am I doing that? Why am I doing that? And I'm like, well, to my mind, I say, well, they're just out there on display, which is what prompted me to take, was it a souvenir, for a memorabilia? But anyway, it's like a perversion, right? Guess what? I stepped out of it. I said, no, I don't want to do that. It's a subversion. It's a exploitation of women again. But then they would say, well, women are putting themselves out there in this manner. So this goes back in time because this is traditional celebration, cultural. And is culture always a good thing or not? That's a good question, I think. We don't have to follow tradition just because it's tradition. Some traditions, I believe, must be broken. Okay? And don't be trying to make new ones. Or don't make traditions that were there, on the down low. Don't try to amplify them and blow them up and bring them on, like Woman of the Year, Caitlyn Jenner. Don't try that shit. And let's push it further. Who are all these women who are supporting Caitlyn Jenner? Because I'm not supportive of Caitlyn Jenner. I think it's odd. It's strange. And it's interesting because the person I know, my transgender friend, who called to ask me about these breasts that she wants to buy from, because, she don't have the money that Caitlyn Jenner has. So she can't get her fake body parts. She has to make her own, and now she's trying to buy. And that's something else we don't talk about. How many transgender, some of them have money because they have skills. They do things as men, you see. They work as men, and then they come out as women when it suits them. That's something else I've noticed. Let's be honest about it. But to me, again, well, that's the reality. It's a struggle, this life. And you got to make it as you can. And this is the way they make it. They do sex work. And they also then defeminize, become masculinized. and go to work in some traditional male occupation where they make good money, like some trades, for instance. And, their co-workers may or may not know that they who have a double identity. And so it's really interesting. But to me, if you are a trans person, or if you think you are, and you're playing the part somehow, what you think it is a trans person is supposed to be, don't be using it with nefarious intent. Don't be doing it to be malicious. Don't be doing it to victimize. Don't be using the identity to perpetrate. That's why I'm a gatekeeper. Okay, that's not okay. So the trans community needs to stand up and speak on this. And why is it that they're largely silent and allow a lot of this shit to continue happening? And not only continue happening, but to continue happening without them really ever addressing it, never saying anything about it, Black lives matter, trans lives matter, right? And which trans lives matter? And why is it okay that some of you trans people are outright criminals and y'all protect them by being silent on these matters? Thank you for listening. Please like, share, subscribe. Comment or not. It's all good. I'm Domina de la Pie. Domina de la Pie. Mistress Sasha Storm. So yes, my trans friend called me to ask, so now the sizing of the breast molds forms silicone on Wish. So I don't know about Wish. I find out it seems I have to download an app. When I have to download an app, I'm like, I just can't be bothered. I don't want to be that involved in it. Plus, I don't like the whole idea. Made in where? Made in where? Where is that made? Where is this coming from? Who is profiting? Who is benefiting? Who is making all this money from all these purchases? You Americans, you're shopping. Canadians, shopping. Wish. Sometimes you're happy. Sometimes you're not. You complain, then you love it, then you hate it. I wish. No, I don't wish. I don't want any of this. I don't want. You can tell much of it is poor quality as well. Now, went to check out. I wanted to check out the boobs for her because she asked me for, she should have my size, which is a 36D. And I said, no. Why would you want to have the same breast size as me when you're taller than me? You're taller, you're bigger, you're heavier, you're fatter. So you have a big belly, which I don't have a belly like that. You have your plumbing, which is a size, sizable. You gotta tuck. You gotta do some tucking, heavy duty tucking. Even if you're a Caucasian male, you're defying all the, what they say about y'all, like you don't count. Well, we know that it's a transgender that matters, and that's what makes her alluring as a sex worker. So my point was that the little transgender can't really live in the feminine as they would love to, and because so many of us, me included, are not just accepting them. Now, the transgender people I accept are those people who are just trans and don't give a fuck and not looking for extra attention or to be doing crazy, silly things. They're just living their lives as they did before they were trans, And they're not bothering me. I'm not bothering them, but they are bothering me if they're going into ladies' rooms, women's washrooms, and doing such things as exposing themselves or, masturbating and taking pictures and videos of the women and girls coming and going into, and even in some cases sexually touching, trying to physically assault, sexually assault. These are serious concerns that me as a woman I have, and many other women have those same. They call us social justice warriors. Do you believe this shit? No, I'm no such thing. Okay, I'm no such thing. That's y'all. That's your Black Lives Matter and your Antifa. You are basically two sides, same coin, and I'm not a part of that.